Morning and thanks for joining us on this Monday, August 20th. I'm Lauren Barnes.
Yeah, I'm Joe Morano, and the kids still back in school, still getting used to it, right? Colleges start today.
Yes.
Yeah, so get ready, get going. All those 18 to 22-year-olds in school, right?
Who are probably still sleeping.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the main story here is that weather. We had some severe weather tear through here last night. Let's check in with Elise. She's in the weather lab and has your forecast first.
Good morning, guys. We are starting out much quieter this morning. It's 67 degrees in Springfield. We've got a couple of clouds out there. That south wind at 8 miles per hour. It's a little bit sticky, but we're quiet for right now. That system that dropped that severe weather yesterday still hanging around the area, so we'll still have to keep the threat at least for some storms and isolated severe weather today. Of course, details on that all morning, but right now we've got clean sweeps on the radar. Not too much going on. Maybe some drizzles or maybe some fog out there. Temperatures are in the 60s. It's 67 degrees in Springfield, 69 in Rolla, and 70 in Ava this morning. As you head out the door, we've got dry conditions for the first half of the day, and then we bring back the chance for some of these scattered showers and storms by this afternoon and evening. Kids headed to school this morning will be dry, but on your way home, we could run into a couple of storms, especially if you live east of Springfield. That's really the area that we're focusing on for these storms today. So all morning, we've got details on those storm reports from yesterday, plus an isolated severe risk continues today. We'll cover that in detail in 10 minutes.
And as you heard Elisa say, a few tornadoes touched down across the Ozarks last night. The video you're seeing was sent in by Color 10 viewer Javier Alcoba, who captured a small twister near Aurora on Highway 60 toward Marionville. We reached out to Aurora Police and Fire, who say they're investigating storm reports, but have nothing confirmed right now. However, we're still getting several storm pictures sent into our newsroom. As you see, there's a mobile home that had part of its roof torn off down to the wooden frame. Several telephone poles also knocked down over the roads, and storms caused damage to trees, which blew over and were split on Farm Road 2210 in Aurora, and winds blew over road signs on US 60, also near Aurora.
Some other video now shows a tornado touching down near Diggins, Missouri. Skywarn weather spotter David Karlstromer captured the confirmed EF0 tornado around 4 yesterday afternoon. He says the twister uprooted a tree and knocked down limbs as well. Another video from Mark Anthony Boring shows a tornado forming and spinning near Diggins. A door on an outbuilding of an Amish farm also blew off. You can see that right there. There was no damage to Highway 60, though, which was originally reported on air. Let's go now to meteorologist Elisa Raffa to give us more detail on these reports.
Yeah, it was pretty active in here yesterday. Here's a look at some of those storm clouds. These storm clouds are near Purdy, Missouri, close to where one of those tornadoes touched down yesterday. You can see the line of storms that were moving in. Here's a look at those storm reports. The tornado reports isolated, and we've got multiple reports of wind damage. This is the tornado that is confirmed EF0 near Diggins. There were reports of that tree uprooted. There was even some reports of some damage in the air as this tornado was spinning, and it did cross a Highway 60. And then we've got this cell that dropped a tornado near Aurora, and then it was also visible near Marionville. What I'm interested in today, once they do the survey reports, is to see if this was the same tornado or if one storm dropped two different tornadoes. So we'll get the information on that later on this afternoon, and we'll also get ratings on how strong these tornadoes were and some more details on the damage. We also had some power lines down and trees down, some damage to outbuildings near Republic. That was from straight line winds, not from tornadoes. Again, we've still got this system that did all of that damage yesterday. It's still hanging around the area, so details on what to expect today. Again, we'll do that in a few minutes.
And we would also like to share some more of your photos and videos of storm and tornado damage. If you have those, go ahead and send them our way. You can do that from our Facebook page or by emailing us at news@color10.com. But in the meantime, be sure to download the free Color 10 weather app to stay ahead of the storm and get breaking severe weather alerts sent straight to your smartphone.
In more weather coverage now. Remember, we began last week covering drought conditions in the Ozarks, but finally we did get a bit of rain, especially over these last few days. However, just because we've seen rain doesn't mean farmers are necessarily in the clear. The summer drought caused a lot of trouble for livestock and cattle producers in southwest Missouri. Now, the MU Extension Council organized meetings to give farmers ways to survive that drought, with programs focused on how to supplement low-quality hay, alternative food food options and assessing prices. Farmers like David Gunter and Mark DeLong are at least grateful for the past week, though.
This week we have gotten about 3.5 inches, and it was very welcomed. We thank the Lord for it. This was the most rain we've had since I don't remember. Way back in the spring did we have a rain that was as good as this.
It did help. We were able to no-till in some rye seed, winter rye, and hopefully we'll get some rain tonight and tomorrow so we can get that seed growing. We'll just have to see what the weather brings us. There's just no guarantees, but you got to take that gamble and get it in the ground and try to do something.
Farmers also say they're going to need as much rain as they can get still just to survive the upcoming winter.
Putting crime into focus now this morning, the Houston Herald is reporting that the Texas County Sheriff's Office is investigating an apparent murder-attempted suicide in the town of Roby. Sheriff Rowdy Douglas told the Herald a woman is dead and the suspect is in serious condition after the shooting that happened in the Waltz convenience store. The shooter was flown to a St. Louis hospital. No names have been released. We'll continue to look for updates on this story.
A traffic alert for you now. Southbound Highway 65 between Valley Watermill Road and I-44 is now open. However, the on-ramp from Valley Watermill Road to 65 will be closed until later this morning. Parts of southbound 65 near I-44 are still closed for bridge construction, but this traffic does not affect southbound 65 to westbound I-44, which still remains open. And moving on, happening around the Ozarks, a Pineville woman has died after her car ran off the roadway and overturned several times. It happened yesterday around noon when 22-year-old Allison Rollins was heading south on Interstate 49 in Pineville. According to Highway Patrol, Rollins' car ran off the left side of the roadway into the median and overturned several times, and it ejected her.
We have a story now that is positively Ozarks. One of the contributors to the Brown v. Board of Education case actually lived here in Springfield for a couple years. The late Reverend Oliver Brown was part of the U.S. Supreme Court's 1954 landmark decision to end racial segregation in American schools. He would have turned 100 years old yesterday, so Drury University hosted a celebration at Central High because Reverend Brown's late daughter, Linda Brown, graduated from Central in 1961. Reverend Brown's other daughter, Cheryl Brown Henderson, says her father came into his own as a civil rights activist when the family moved to Springfield from Topeka, Kansas in 1959.
Coming here to Springfield, he really stepped out front and became more of an actual civil rights leader, organizing with other churches, with marches, and bringing things to the attention of public officials, and really working on improving race relations here in Springfield.
Reverend Brown, the church where he preached, it was bought by Drury in 2014, and it will be used to honor the history and culture of the church, including its ties to the Reverend.
All right, Burrell Behavioral Health is hosting a hiring event tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Missouri Job Center. Custodial, food service, aides, and some licensed positions all open. If you happen to miss this one, though, there will be another hiring event next Tuesday, August 28th.